Hello everyone, Tina here for Paper Tray Ink. I hope you're having a fabulous day. Thank you so much for joining me. Today we're going to create a cake pop card. I haven't made one of these and I think this stamp set is super cute. It's called Birthday Pops. It's part of Paper Tray Ink's January 2023 release, along with the Decorative Brackets. This is the Love to Layer Decorative Brackets Die Set. We're going to put both of these together and create a yummy card. Let's jump in and do a little bit of stamping. Since these are layering stamps, what we're going to do is take the coordinating dies and die cut out, and we're going to do multiples too, so this is going to help when we die cut out a panel. So let's take some white cardstock, and then we need the little jar for our cake pops. We'll die cut this out. And then we have some layerable cake pops. We'll die cut both of these. And then I'm going to add some bows to my cake pop. So we'll die cut out some bows along with, how about some chocolate dipped cake pops. This is going to be really fun. I'm leaving some room on the top and the bottom. That way we can do some extra stamping and stamp the stripes for our cake pop stick. So I'm going to take this panel, I'll run this through my die cut machine, and then I'm going to die cut out the cake pop bases. And I want 4 cake pops, so I'm going to do a couple more die cutting with this, and then we can use this as a template for our stamping positioner. So I have all of my white cardstock die cut out. I'm going to use this as a template. Since we're doing multiples, this is going to help me out with repositioning my images here. We are going to layer on top of our cake pop bases, so I'm going to put these off to the side. And there's 2 different kind of bases. One has, let me show you on the stamp. One has the little drip down from dipping, and then the other one's just a plain circle. Okay, so I cut out 2 of each of these. I'm going to go ahead and inlay my elements here. I have everything inlaid, and it's nice because I have the sticky mat here inside of my stamping positioner. This helps hold these elements down. Now we're going to take our base layer of our cake pop and our jar. This is our jar. I'm just going to line it up, and I think we are good to go. I'll pick them up with the lid of my stamping positioner. And of course, new stamps have a tendency to be extra grippy, so it picks up all of my my die cuts, but that's okay. They're easy to put back. And then we're going to bring in some colors. For my jar, the base of my jar, I'm going to use, oh, you know what we need? I'm also going to take the stripes here for my stick. I didn't die cut out my, let me show you. I'm going to place this on here also. And I didn't die cut out my cake pop strip because I want to die cut out after. I think it's going to be easier for me to die cut this out after, since it's only going to be 1 layer. But I wanted to make sure that since I'm using a very pale ink, that I can multiple stamp my stripes. For my jar, and also for the striped cake pop stick, I'm going to use soft stone ink. So I'm going to start by inking this up first. And we will go ahead and stamp this. And I'm going to stamp it a couple times because I really want it to stand out. All good to go. Now is the fun part. We get to do our cake pops. And we're going to do a variety of colors. For my base colors, I thought we would use these 4 inks. They're bright and cheery. I have Berry Sorbet, Orange Zest, Harvest Gold, and Limeade Ice. So we'll start with our Harvest Gold, and I'm going to ink up One of them with Harvest Gold and then the other one with Orange Zest. How about this? And we will go ahead and stamp these. And if we have to re-stamp them, we can go ahead and do that, but I think we stamped them pretty perfectly. I'm going to go ahead and remove them, and we're going to do a little bit more stamping. For our next colors, we're going to use Berry Sorbet and Limeade Ice. And they stamped lovely. For another one of my ribbons, I'm going to use Raspberry Fizz. Have a nice pretty pink one. And then I'm going to do one more bow, but this time we're going to use Hawaiian Shores. And then I'm going to use Honey Nut ink for the chocolate drizzle on my cake pop here. Wonderful. Okay, so our bows are done. We have 3 different color bows. And then I'm going to leave our cake pops in here. I can take out my chocolate here. And then we have a second layer to our jar, and then we can now add sprinkles and drizzles over our cake pops. For our green, I think Hawaiian Shores is going to work great, and I think the little sprinkles are going to work perfectly for this. And we have, for this one, we will use the little confetti pieces. That's going to work out great. And then we have the second layer of our jar. We'll line this up. And then for our jar, I'm going to use Spring Moss ink. We're going to go for a nice soft color. And it's stamped lovely. For our Limeade Ice, we're going to use Hawaiian Shores for the sprinkles. You want to use a darker color when you do this. This way it stands out. And I just love the way this looks. I think it looks super fun. And then for this cake pop, we're going to need, how about Orange Zest? Or should we use, yeah, Orange Zest is good. And I think that's going to work out fabulous. I love sprinkles. Okay, we're going to take out these cake pops and replace them with the next set. I like this drizzle here. We're going to add this to our orange, but I'm going to use Raspberry Fizz. I think that's going to stand out against it. And rather than just using my stamping positioner, I'm going to use an acrylic block for this. And it's stamped lovely. And then for this cake pop, since it's a lighter color, I think we can add a rainbow color of confetti or sprinkles. Let's go ahead and take Hawaiian Shores first, and we will ink up the most heavy dotted piece, and we will stamp this. And of course, if you wanted to use your stamping positioner, you could, but sometimes an acrylic block is just as easy. And we need some Raspberry Fizz will stand out against that yellow. Let's add some pink. Wonderful. My next layer, I'm going to add a little bit of orange in here. Lovely. And we got lots of sprinkles on that cake pop. Okay, I think we are good to go. Now we get to do our layering. I'm going to go ahead and put my inks off to the side, and I'm going to take the coordinating die that will die cut out our cake pop sticks here. There's 2 of them, and I will die cut out 4 of our cake pop sticks. Before I remove my cake pop holder, I do want to stamp my sentiment that says sweetest birthday wishes. I love the little font on here. So I'm going to go ahead and keep our jar in my stamping positioner, and I'm going to stamp my sentiment with true black ink, and it'll stand up really well again. I think that is wonderful. So okay. I have my sentiment stamped on top of my jar, and we are ready to create some cake pops. But I do want a little bit of dimension to them, so we are going to bring in some foam squares, and that's what I love about you have a base layer. First, we're going to add a little bit of glue to each one of our cake pop sticks. And then I'm going to take the coordinating sticks here, and we will lay these right on top. This is going to add a little bit of dimension to them too. Wonderful. There is a second layer, so if you want to do two-tone stripes, you can, but I just wanted to keep the cake pop sticks a little bit subtle. I'm going to take each one of our cake pops, put a foam square behind them, and we're going to add these over their home here for a little dimension. And they look good enough to eat. We have a little bit of dimension to them. For this cake pop here, I'm going to take the chocolate drizzle, and using my glue, we'll add a little bit of glue behind here, and then I'm going to put this on top of my cake pop here. We'll add just an extra layer. How cute is this? And then at the base of each one of my cake pops, I'm going to add a little dot of glue. Except for the one with the drizzle. I'm not going to add any glue to that. And then we can go ahead and add our bows. And our cake pops are super cute and super fun. Okay, I'm going to flip this around too, and we're going to add some foam squares behind here. And now we need to work on our background. To do that, this is where our Love to Layer decorative brackets comes in. I'm going to use the stitched pattern here, and we're going to bring in some colored cardstock. I have 3 different colors. I have Aqua Mist, I have Spring Moss, and I also have Melon Berry. We're going to take this, and I'm going to die cut out 3 different strips, and I want to die cut out white too. Let me grab some white cardstock. I'll die cut out a white one too. So 4 strips. I'll run these through my die cut machine, and we will create a card. I have all 4 of my strips die cut. I have my card base, which is the standard A2 size card base, and then I have a card front panel with the same Aqua Mist cardstock. What we're going to do is take our panel, we're going to flip it around. I'm going to use my tape runner, and we're going to have place this on our card base. So now our card front is covered with our Aqua Mist. I have our strips. We're going to put the white one on the very bottom. And basically, I'm doing this because I like the stitch detail. And I have a panel that measures 3 3/4 inches by 5 inches. So we can see that Aqua Mist on our card base. It's going to be slightly smaller here. I'm going to add my white strip. And then we can go ahead and take our blue one. And I'm just lining them up to each other. They're going to be overlapping on the left and right, but that's okay. I can trim that off with my paper trimmer. And I'll add my Melon Berry cardstock. And then we'll add our spring moss right at the very top. Once we have all three of our layers, I'm going to use my paper trimmer, flip my panel around, and I'm just going to trim off the excess. Wonderful. And now we get to arrange our cake pops here. I'm going to start with our birthday jar. I'm going to add this in the middle. Lovely. I'm going to take this panel, I'm going to flip it around, and since I have my glue out, I'm just going to add some glue behind here. And I'm going to tack this down to the center of my card base here. And then with this cake pop, I want it to overlap, so I'm going to take one foam square. In our stamp set, we have some small hearts. We actually have two different sizes of hearts here. I'm going to take both of the itty bitty hearts. I'm going to place them on an acrylic block. And then using some inks, I'm going to use Melon Berry, gold, we'll use limeade ice, and we'll add a green here. Let's see. And using these small hearts, we're going to add some hearts in our background using our different colors of inks here. So let's add Melon Berry. And I think my jar needs some twine. So I'm bringing in some white twine, and I'm going to loop it twice, and we're going to tie a bow off to the right here. I think that's just what we needed. So we'll go ahead and trim away the tails. And then lastly, I'm going to take glossy accents, and we're going to go over our chocolate dipped. And then that will finish off my card today for Paper Tray Ink. A fun, delicious birthday card. I hope you enjoyed my project. Have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for joining me.